I'm just gonna cut right to the case. We all know the local Hurricane Gator is the one that smashed up Bonnie. So that's fine and dandy, but why am I talking about this again? Well, let's just say there was one detail I noticed when rereading the Storyteller that popped out at me, to say the least. That detail I would try to answer. And that answer had me going on a quest that led me down a rabbit hole full of more questions and confusion and frustration. While I think the conclusion of who destroyed Bonnie is very clear, the how and when it happened is something that has baffled me for days now. So let me show you what I've gone through. The general timeline about this topic, and one I've generally agreed on for a while, is that the original band comprised of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Roxy, and Monty was his own thing in Monty Golf. Then after the animatronics get corrupted by the Storyteller, the animatronics' behavior becomes aggressive, and more or less make them act like their security breach selves. With Monty, his behavior becomes more destructive, so he develops this jealousy of Freddy and wants to be the main band leader. So Monty destroys Bonnie in Monty Golf and hid his body so he can replace him, and make him one step closer to being the band leader. Seems simple and easy to follow, right? Well, for some dumb reason, this explanation is not consistent with all of the info that we have from both games and the books. Let me give you some examples and you'll see what I mean. We have the duffel bag message saying that Bonnie went from his green room in Rockstar Row to the atrium, then the East Arcade, and lastly in Monty Golf. Then he was deemed missing. This message heavily suggests that Bonnie went to Monty Golf and was destroyed there, right? We come to find out that Bonnie's green room is not in Rockstar Row, but in Bonnie Bowl, as seen and said in Ruin. We also see Bonnie's charging station battered up and destroyed. Then we have Bonnie himself laying in a room in Bonnie Bowl under a Gator Golf carpet. This is odd because we straight up have a contradiction, and this battered up charging station implies that Monty attacked Bonnie in Bonnie Bowl, but you have the fact that Bonnie himself is laying on a Monty Golf carpet, which circles back to the original assumption that Bonnie was attacked in Gator Golf. We also have the Storyteller, the story that's basically the whole reason why the Glamrocks act aggressive and unfriendly, and is basically the reason why I made the video in the first place. So you'd expect Bonnie would be a part of the band at this time, right? Nope. Monty is said to be part of the band during the story, which wouldn't make sense because the reason Monty develops this egotistical side is because he got corrupted. So him destroying Bonnie before the Storyteller doesn't make sense. But wait, there's more. The story tells us that the characters associated with their attractions, like Gator Golf, Roxy Raceway, Phaser Blast, and Bonnie Bowl, were acting unusual. What the heck? A character associated with Bonnie Bowl. This can't be the staff bots. They aren't characters, but just the staff. And during the time of the Storyteller, they didn't exist yet. So this can only be Bonnie. You see what I mean when I say this gets confusing? I mean, the last point is just plain weird. Like, it suggests that Monty replaced Bonnie before he was destroyed, and Bonnie was demoted to a side character in Bonnie Bowl. I mean, at first I thought maybe the writers didn't fully know the full context on Bonnie's lore, and just knew that Monty was the bass player and Bonnie was in Bonnie Bowl before he went missing. But strangely, on the other hand, Ruin seems to double down on this idea and shows us that Bonnie's green room is in Bonnie Bowl and not in Rockstar Row where the other band members are. If he's supposed to be a part of the band up until Monty killed him, then his green room should be in Rockstar Row. Listen, I don't want to assume it was a retcon, but it sure seems like it. But after I gaslit myself into thinking there was an explanation to this, I went deeper into this, and what I found was some odd connections. Firstly, we know Monty's glasses once belonged to Bonnie, but in the Storyteller, Monty has his glasses, while Bonnie is still active. So I thought maybe the writers thought that Glam Bonnie's design was the one we see in base Security Breach, that doesn't have the glasses and looked more like classic Bonnie. Which could be backed up in the Monty Within, where when the main character were selecting characters in a video game to play with, Bonnie is described as his classic design, while Monty was described as his glamrock look. And in the Storyteller, Glamrock Chica is weirdly described to be closer to her classic design. But when I looked in Ruin, I noticed something. In every single merchandise and art of Glam Bonnie, he doesn't have his glasses, except for one, but I'll talk about it in a sec. But with Monty, however, most of his merch and art includes his glasses. So I thought, if Monty replaced Bonnie when he was still alive, Fazbear Entertainment just gave Monty Bonnie's glasses and base, and that's why we rarely see Bonnie with his glasses in any of the art and merch. But that's all dismantled with this neon sign. But I could argue this neon sign could be just old, like Freddy's neon sign, which has a purple hat and bow tie. We know he once had that purple hat and bow tie, because we can see in base Security Breach the black paint chips off to reveal that purple bow tie. So, I don't know. I then looked at Monty's ride in Ruin with the added possibility of Bonnie being destroyed after being replaced, and found that it could make sense. I mean, yeah, I do think the ride isn't telling the whole truth, but the fact that Bonnie is seen being swept away after Monty became a Glamrock is to be somewhat remembered. Alright, maybe the possibility of Monty replacing Bonnie before being killed could be possible, until I reread the duffel bag messages again, specifically about the one that says Monty replaced Bonnie because he's out of commission. After 10 minutes of trying to calm myself, I thought of an answer that is 100%. What if the message about Bonnie going missing and him being out of commission is before Monty destroyed him? What if Fazbear Entertainment replaced Bonnie with Monty until they repaired Bonnie? Because what struck me as odd is the fact that the workers never repaired Bonnie, despite them knowing that he is out of commission. I mean, why not just repair him? Maybe him being out of commission just means he's missing? But the problem with that is that they would just type that he's missing and not out of commission. Maybe when Bonnie went to Monty Golf and went missing, he was found and was too broken to continue, so they replaced him with Monty until they repaired him. Kinda like how Vanessa tells Freddy that Monty will run the shows until he's rebooted.
If you're part of this, you're scrap. Monty will run the shows until Parts and Service can slap your casing on a new endo.
But that still doesn't explain why would Bonnie be damaged in Monty Golf before the Storyteller and before Vanny or Glitchtrap take over the place. I honestly don't have a satisfying answer for that. The best I can come up with is that Bonnie just went on his usual drunken stroll and tripped and fell in Monty Golf, and he was found like a few hours later. But I digress. I still have to explain the smashed up power station. It looks like something strong tried to forcefully open it, but was unsuccessful. Or maybe it was destroyed, so it wouldn't be used. Or maybe it's both. Maybe Monty tried to get Bonnie while he was charging. But again, if Bonnie went missing in Gator Golf, why would Monty attack the charging station? Maybe if I'm right in saying that Bonnie was killed after being replaced, and that incident in Gator Golf wasn't him being destroyed, maybe the broken power station could indicate that Bonnie was killed in Bonnie Bowl. But again, that doesn't explain the Gator Golf carpet. I mean, Monty could have gotten it with him to Bonnie Bowl to hide the evidence, but that seems like a stretch. My brain hurts. There's also the fact that Monty gets upgrades for his claws to be able to play the bass, but Bonnie himself doesn't even have claws. I don't know why I'm calling this out. It isn't really important, I just thought it was weird. Maybe if you squint a little bit, it could support the fact that Monty replaced Bonnie before being destroyed, and Bonnie's claws wasn't needed anymore after being replaced. Then you have Ruin again, which suggests a bigger reason why Bonnie was replaced. Alright, that's it. I can't do this anymore. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm tired. So how about for this last part of the video, I create two scenarios to show how Monty destroyed Bonnie. The first scenario, the one I've been yapping about for who knows how long, is where Bonnie is replaced but not destroyed yet. Bonnie was a part of the band and had his own green room in Rockstar Row and everything. After his leisurely stroll around the Pizzaplex, he went missing in Monty Golf. He was found and was deemed out of commission, so Parts and Service made Monty the bass player for the time being, giving Monty Bonnie's glasses and bass. Monty would prove popular with the kids, so much so when Bonnie was repaired, he was demoted to a side character and his green room was moved from Rockstar Row to Bonnie Bowl. And the gondola ride explains this transition. Then the Storyteller came online and Monty became aggressive and jealous. So maybe in one of Monty's campaigns to replace Freddy, Bonnie stopped him. That makes Monty angry and vengeful. So he goes to Bonnie Bowl late at night and attacked Bonnie while he was charging. He killed him and hid his body in a carpet he brought along with him, and hid his body in a secret area in the bowling alley where no one can find him. Problem: Bonnie just having an accident in minigolf is unplausible, since why would he go missing in the first place? No one at the time would have a reason to attack him. Vanny and Glitchtrap ain't here yet, and the Storyteller didn't exist yet. The second scenario, the simpler one. Bonnie was a part of the band, and after the Storyteller came online, Monty became angry and jealous. He wanted to be the band leader. To do that, he needed to be in the band first. So when Bonnie was walking around the Pizzaplex and reached Monty Golf, Monty attacked him and ripped him apart. He put the body parts in a carpet and goes to Bonnie Bowl to hide it. The employees may or may not have found Bonnie, but they decide to replace him with Monty anyways. So they make Monty the new bass player. Problem: I guess we're just gonna have to assume that Bonnie's green room was retconned to be in Bonnie Bowl, and the whole thing with the Storyteller could just be the writers not fully knowing Bonnie's murder. I mean, in the end, I don't really care either way. Monty destroys Bonnie in the end, and the how and when doesn't really matter. But I will say, I do think the simpler option is the best way and safer way to go, because there's no need to overcomplicate this. I don't know why most of the media around it contradict each other, but hey, it's not that important to be an issue, I think. So, if you liked it, please like, subscribe, all that jazz, and yeah, have a great day. See you on the flip side.